Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is going to be a solo pod, so excited about the fourth round of action tonight at the Australian Open, and thought I'd do a solo pod with two GBM plays in the three matches. Unfortunately, Jakob Mensik had to pull out of the tournament with an abdominal injury, so shout out to him. Congratulations on the accomplishment. Great to start to the year for Jakob, and sad to see him having retired. Djokovic will move to the quarterfinals. Probably very happy to avoid a match there. Moving to tonight's card, we're going to start with the first match on. Not the first. It's not the first match on, but it's the first of the men's matches on. This one's on later in the daytime slot. It is Lorenzo Musetti against Taylor Fritz. It's a really interesting match, and that this line is pretty close. Last I saw, Musetti is a plus 118 dog. Actually, now it's down to plus 115. Fritz is a minus 130 favorite on Bet 105. Bet 105, a great sports book to play on. Crypto book. No limiting of winners. Fantastic odds. Odds are very competitive with Pinnacle. Great place to play. Probably my favorite place to play at this point. So Fritz minus 130 on the money line. Musetti plus 115. The spread is a game and a half. The total, I'll look at the total a second. The total, if you're interested in that, is 40 and a half games. My thoughts on this. The way this line is priced is clearly factoring in the poor play of Fritz so far this year, which we definitely know is driven by the tendinitis in the knee, or at least we believe it is. Fritz has been well below par. 3 wins that he's got in this tournament so far. Royer in 4 sets, beat Koprova, and he had a dominance ratio right around 1.0 against Stan Wawrinka. I believe it was 1.02. Just going to look that up quickly. Yeah, it was a 1.02 dominance ratio, meaning he basically won a very similar number of points against Stan in the last match. That's a match against a fatigued Stan who played 4.5 hours 2 nights before. I don't like where Fritz is at. Looking at Musetti, this tournament we've got a win over Collignon. Granted, a retirement win, but Collignon had been coming in really hot. A win over a very Sonego wasn't great in the match, but Sonego's a very solid player. I believe he was a quarterfinalist on Australia last year. And then a win over Mahach in 5 sets. Probably shouldn't have gone 5. Mahach saved 18 out of 26 break points. It's kind of what got it to go 5. He actually, in that match, Musetti generated 26 break points to Mahach's 15 and had a dominance ratio of 1.23, which is pretty solid. Musetti's playing better this week. Definitely in a better Hong Kong, making the final. Then I think we could say that Fritz did, losing, I believe, 3 out of 4 in United Cups. So, given that we know why Fritz is playing poorly, I'm willing to put a bet here on Musetti. If we didn't know why, I'd be scared because Fritz is the better hardcourt player if both are at full health. But I have no reason to believe that Fritz is going to be any better than what he's been for the past 3 weeks. So, so we're going to be on Musetti here. Plus 120 is the price that I got. I'm seeing right now, like I said, it's down to plus 115. I still think there's some value there. Not a lot, because I do think this is pretty close to a pick. So that's the first match. Next match we're going to talk through is Jannik Sinner against Luciano Darderi. Probably the least exciting match on the line, to be honest. Not a particularly exciting match in terms of styles, even. Looking at the line, Sinner is priced as a massive favorite, as we would expect. To be exact, he's a minus 46.24 favorite up at 105. Not sure why minus 46.24 as opposed to myriad of other potential numbers, but that's neither here nor there. Darderi's out there at plus 2,033. The spread is 9 games, and the total is 28. Really bad matchup here for Darderi, man. Sinner just destroys these under I wouldn't even say underpowered, but just these underskilled hardcourters compared to him. The serve is nothing. Darderi's a great server at clay quarter. Works well in the clay as it really kicks up. Doesn't work so well in the hard court. And honestly, compared to other hardcourt ATP players, it's a very average serve. And even the second serve, you might argue, is a little below average. It really, on the hard court, if it doesn't really kick up, it's a pretty slow serve. Also, I don't love Darderi's tactics on hard court. Too much running around the ball. Not enough standard, standard tennis, if you will, staying in good position. And then the loopy forehand, not as effective on the hard court. Doesn't kick up as high. And then the movement's the other problem for me. He's kind of a plotter. Doesn't really do as good of a job getting out of corners. Darderi is really a South American hard courter. I'm pretty sure he grew up in Argentina, which really kind of describes why he plays the way he plays. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Darderi. If you look on the Sinner side, I mentioned before, Sinner's eaten guys like this for lunch. Against guys ranked outside the top 50 on hard court since 2024, Sinner's 27-0. He's won 56 of 68 sets, 6-4 or better, so that's a rate of about 80%, actually a little bit better. And he's won 31 of 68 sets, so almost half, about 45%, 6-2 or better. Given that, we're on 2 plays here. One of them is an official GBM play. That is Sinner to win each set 6-4 or better. That's at plus 125 on Bovada. I would also take the under 28.5 games if you're playing on a sharper book. Or 6-2 or better in each set is at plus 1,800 on Bovada. That's the other play I'd play. But I think Sinner's just going to dominate here. I really don't see how Darderi wins points. If Sinner controls the court, Darderi's just in a world of trouble here. Could serve great and hold his way to 5 games. It's probably his best chance of destroying these bets. I'm not as worried about Sinner from a physicality perspective. I think the heat's not supposed to be as bad, and I think that was just driven by the extremely hot conditions 2 days ago. I don't expect there to be a carryover there. Now for the final match, Shelton versus Ruud at night. This is the best match on the card in terms of if you're a tennis fan. Unfortunately, I don't have a bet on it. I think it's lined decently well. This line has started to move a little bit. Shelton is now, it continues to move. I think people know it's at night and they're because of the slower conditions. This has continued to move. We are now down to Shelton at a very playable minus 150 on the money line. Ruud's at plus 133. It's his 2-game spread. And the total is now up to 41. I got no play here. Ruud's playing better at this year's Australian Open than he has on quicker-ish hard courts in a while. We really saw Laver play really, really slow last night in the Bublik-Demonor match. There's going to be another night match on Laver. It doesn't start until 7 p.m. Australian time. Theoretically, I would say that Shelton's serve and athletic advantage should enable him to dominate. He's got this is a match between 2 guys who are a little bit similar. They really like to play off their serve and off their forehand. I think Shelton should get to more forehands. The question is, will he take advantage of the forehand to backhand advantage that he has with the cross-court side, as well as Ruud takes advantage of his forehand to backhand advantage? I don't know. Shelton, not the best tactically, very raw player. Ruud, a much better player tactically. That would be the concern. So, if I were to play it, I would play this at plus 250. Or I'm sorry, I would play the first set tiebreak at plus 250. I've seen that. I do think this could end up being a very serve-dominated match, as whoever gets the first punch should be able to use that forehand and backhand advantage I just talked about. But I can see an argument for each player here, so I'm going to lay off here. So just to recap, 2 GBM plays officially. That's the Sinner 6x in every set, so to win each set 6-4 or better, that's at plus 125. And then Musetti on the money line at plus 120. Good luck to all of you, however you decide to make the bet. Good luck. Have fun watching the matches. The Shelton Ruud match should be a thriller. All right. Bye, everyone.